I have said at different fora that the reason we are able to do this is because the government of Rivers State, under the leadership of Ezewo Nyesom Wike, does not tamper with allocations to local government. You know, when you talk about the letter and spirit of autonomy, this is where it happens. When people talk about local government autonomy is to the extent that we do whatever we like with our funds. We are not, albeit that we have a Ministry of Local Government that from time to time look at what we are doing, all in a bid to ensuring that people do not take advantage of their position and abuse their offices. Apart from that, we enjoy autonomy, local government autonomy in Rivers State, and that is what accounts for all that you have revealed, that our humble contribution to our people.
You know, in all of this contribution, which a lot of people are already applauding you for, but again, there remains one very critical one in some of those things. I recall that earlier this year, you made a statement where we have Professor, I think, yes, Professor, I will remember, where he presented a preliminary report sponsored by SPDC on the issue of oil bunkering and the effect. And you said very, very clearly that this is a failure of leadership. And also in your speech at the one-year anniversary, you said, well, humorously, that the shekeleke in your local government area are now whites. And talking about shekeleke is the white, is the long neck white bird you normally see in swampy areas. But again, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, it's a very terrible one, which you also alluded to. And you also said, which I quote, that the main sponsors of this oil bunkering are living in big porch hotels, that the one roasted by the fireside are those food soldiers. Would you really say, as part of your achievements 1 year in office, we've seen an end to oil bunkering in your local government?
I recall vividly the event that you are referring to. The professor that you are referring to is Professor Ben Nani.
Professor Ben Nani, fantastic.
Yes, and that was a program he actually sponsored, which held somewhere around Uniport. So it was based on the activities of illegal oil refiners. If there is any achievement at all of my administration within the period under review, I would like to say that it is that of the fight against artisanal refining. My team and I, we fought this fight headlong. I put everything I had into it, and today, the people are beginning to report that they can breathe cleaner air, fresh air. So, because I felt that the activities of a few or the greed of a few should not eventually become the cause of death for majority of people. Because somebody because they will tell you the reason they are doing what they are doing is because there are no jobs. But I've seen people who quit their job to go into fire business. I've seen people who go to banks. We have records of people who have gone to banks to take loans to go and establish ports at different places. So you cannot say that the only cause is because government is not able to provide jobs. And of course, no government can provide jobs for all of its citizens. What government does is to provide the enabling environment for businesses to thrive. So
but again, you see, our concern is the fact, because again, one of the things you raised was the fact that you are so surprised that the DPO, who was with you going from Bushes, was actually establishing 15 new.
Well, we had reports which we made available to the authorities, and they investigated. We only made our complaints. It's not just them. The unfortunate thing in that war was that it's a big cartel, because you look at it. If those who refine don't sell, the activity won't go on. And when they refine in the bush and bring them out, how do they transport it? Where are the people that man the roads? What happens? What of the department that government created to secure critical government infrastructure? We had a report in this state where the governor had said the man in charge of illegal oil bunkering in the civil defense office actually himself became a bunkerer. So that became a serious issue, which was what made me allude to the failure of leadership in that seminar. Because you recall that everything about petroleum and allied activities are on the exclusive list.
True.
So the government of Rivers State cannot legislate on any of those items. But what we did was hide under provision of good governance, which we have the legislative competence to ensure that our people will not die just because we cannot control the issues of petroleum and all the other things that surround it.
You know, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, I'm so excited having you talk on this because not only you are an astute lawyer, you are also an academic. You have PhD in law, and I think you may have some insight on what we need to do, particularly on the issue of legislation to put an end to this. But again, let's come to local government.
It has nothing to do with legislation. We know that you shouldn't breathe carbon dioxide. You don't need a law to let you know that you shouldn't.
But again, perhaps the necessary law.
The laws are there. We are not. There are no dearth of laws. What has happened is failure of leadership. See what happened. The moment the governor of Rivers State said enough was enough, that was it.
But would you really say that is the death of oil bunkering in your local government, or we're likely to see it?
It is dead, I can assure you, because we woke up the other relevant federal government agencies. They eventually woke up from their slumber. We saw, even if they didn't contact us. We saw on social media that the Minister for State for Petroleum came in with the Chief of Army Staff and all that, and they went in. And I can tell you, they did a great job. There are two gentlemen, officers and men that work with me, one Major Garuba and Lieutenant Moses Oji. These are fantastic young men. Another Major Ofem. With them, we were able to comb all the nooks and crannies of Emowa. In fact, up to the forest where people, you will shudder that kind of activity goes on there. And that was why I said those who are behind these businesses are not those who are roasted. Because you need to go and see, when you see the way these things are established, you need not less than 15 to 20 million to set up a port. And it is not the hoi polloi that can provide that kind of money.
Fantastic. You're listening to Point Blank, and we're speaking to Honorable Dr. Chidi Lloyd. He's the chairman of Emowa local government area. Of course, we're looking at developing the third tier of government, ensuring participatory governance in the third tier of government, and this time around speaking concerning Emowa local governments. Just celebrated 1 year in office. Now, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, another great concern is the issue of security. And a lot of people have been commending you so far, particularly for removing OSPAC and setting up MOVs. But again, there have been some challenge in MOVs, and I recall that the leader of MOVs was recently arrested and prosecuted. That's also a big concern. How were they recruited? What was the recruitment procedure? How can we have such a breach that led to the leader of MOVs, killing someone, allegedly?
I'd like to correct an impression. They've been picked up there with the police because I asked the police to arrest them with a view to investigating the allegations. Okay. And I immediately suspended them from their positions because we do not sign off for that kind of a thing. That's not why we recruited them. However, you asked a very pertinent question. When I assumed office, my predecessor in office had banned what was OSPAC because of its activities. Because rather than focus on their core objectives, they were now doing other things, which included bunkering. They were the ones who were now involved in the illegal oil bunkering in the communities. They were now involved in settling matrimonial causes. They were now involved in debt collection. They were now being used by chiefs who were now who want to be kings and so on and so forth. So communities became more polarized in Emowa local government. So when we came in, we heeded that call, and I immediately sponsored an executive bill to the legislature with a view to regulating the activities of vigilante in the local government. And graciously, that legislation was passed, and I gave my assent to it, and we commenced. Now, the sections of that legislation provides that they are to work with the police in synergy with security agencies in the local government. They are not to bear arms. It's clear. Now, you asked how they were recruited. Sure. When we came. Now, most persons in the local government misunderstood us. And I said, look, what we are saying is that we cannot have a body known as OSPAC, when we all know that OSPAC means Onelga Security Advisory Committee. So we will have our own autonomous vigilante with our own name, and I named it Emohua Vigilante Service. Then the recruitment, members of the communities made nominations. I had a stakeholders meeting, and I said, look, you know those who will protect your community better than I do, right? So make nominations of 5 persons each, some 10, depending on the size of the community. And if you know those who were in the defunct OSPAC, who are useful but are not tainted, tainted to mean that do not belong to any fraternity, any pseudo fraternity, please do not, you can include such names, right? So that's why you find most of those who were in the defunct OSPAC still members of the new Emohua Vigilante Service, because their communities nominated them. We did not go so moto as a council to recruit young men. No. So we have with their own writing signatures of community heads, CDC, who made representations to us, and we carry these names the way they were sent to us to the security agencies, to wit the police and the DSS for profiling. That was done. Then they gave us a report of those whom they have cleared, right? Then we invited the Commissioner of Police to give a 2-week training and orientation to the young men that we have gathered. Because we do know, you can't bring a group of young men together and not educate them on their modus operandi. So that was what we did. And as much as possible, we know what security means in our local government. And because we want to change the narrative, that is the only reason why development is stopped in Choba. I don't see any reason why anybody who works and lives in the university, who works in the University of Port Harcourt, will be coming from Umebulu to come to work in Choba, when Emohua is just a stone throw. But everybody wants to be secured. So that's exactly what we are doing to make sure we rebrand the local government.
Fantastic. We're talking to Dr. Chido, and it is very, very clear that you've clarified the issue of bearing of arms, because a lot of people were wondering, how come they bear arms? How did they get the guns from? But you have just said to us that even in the law setting them up, they were not.
I'm a legislator, I've been a legislator, I'm a lawyer, so I know that ammunition, we cannot legislate on the issues of ammunition. These are items on the exclusive list. So I cannot stricto sensu recruit people and ask them to carry bear arms. No. It is clear in our law that you are not to bear arms. And on the day of inauguration, I said so in Pidgin English, in our native language, and in the normal English language. You are not to bear arms. You are to report cases, criminals, to the police. That is what you are supposed to do. When you hear something, you say something.
Dr. Barrister Chidi Lloyd.
And I'd like to say this, and
yes,
as much as possible, I set up an advisory committee made up of eminent persons in the local government without prejudice to party affiliation. And as much, because I had said that the council will be isolated from the day-to-day operations of the vigilante, and that's why we build them an office so that they become, they stay on their own for the public to support them. From time to time, the public can support them materially in terms of logistics and so on, so that the people of Emohua will own the vigilante service.
Fantastic. We're still looking at developments at the third tier of government, and this time around we're speaking concerning Emohua local government. 1 year in office of Honorable Dr. Barrister Chidi Lloyd. So are you satisfied so far with what he has done in the area of environment, oil bunkering specifically, and security? Very key issues. We'll just take first 2 calls. And of course, this conversation is live on social media. You can watch us live on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on Instagram. And you can also send us your comments. We are also live on YouTube. You can watch the discussion anywhere in the world on YouTube. I'll take 2 calls now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shego Olabi.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Let me greet the guest in the studio, the chairman of MOHA. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Barry Digyadom, the radio governor. I have my PVC, I know my polling unit, and I will vote.
I like that.
Well, among all the local government chairmen, they were appointed by Governor Nyesom Wike.
Elected, sir.
Elected, not appointed.
Allegedly.
No, there's nothing like. Hold on, Barrister. They went through election. It's not appointed. But
I'm not aware of that.
I'm sorry, sir.
That's why I'm using appointed.
You can't disrespect me that much, sir.
Again, well, he has a right. He was elected.
Okay, if he was elected, no problem. But the only one that I see that is performing, that is working. But my question is this. What has it done in the area of youth empowerment in MOHA local government?
Youth empowerment. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I would just allow Dr. Chidiloi to answer.
First and foremost, it is not correct. It is not correct that I'm the only local government chairman that is performing. No.
Well, he has a right to his view.
No. But we should not use medium like this to mislead the people. Secondly, he is not from my local government to know what we are doing in terms of youth empowerment and all that. So I do not think my explaining to him now would not make any sense.
But again, for the public too, for the
we are doing
consumption of
quite
the
a
public.
lot. We are doing quite
Maybe
a lot.
you might just want to enumerate some.
Well, the issue, what we've done is to begin with critical infrastructure to put in place those things. First, for me to be able to work, I need an office space, right? All that we are trying to put in place. Now, this administration is just 1 year in office. We are going into our second year. We already have a blueprint of what we intend to do. How do we want to get our young men with a lot of energy off the street? So we have conceived the idea of incorporating an MOHA enterprise, a limited liability company that will be able to go into ventures like pure water, manufacture of pure water, molding of block molding, and so forth and so on. Those low-hanging fruits that we can pluck with a view to getting our restive youths off the street. We are also talking with an Indian company here in Port Harcourt to get these tricycles. We are going to get as many tricycles as possible, which we are going to give to our people to cushion the effect of the bad governance of the APC-led administration.
We just hope the ban on tricycles is not coming.
No, it's motorcycle.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Now let's come down. Another one. Let's take another call here. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shogun.
Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Yes, my name is Douglas Davis. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Douglas, good morning. Your question, please.
Okay, the question is directly to the local government chairman. Chairman, good morning, sir.
Morning, Douglas.
Yes, sir. Please, my concern is the MOHA Calabari Road, because for some time now, there have been security challenges. So I want to know what the local government has done to curtail the security issues along the MOHA Calabari Road.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Douglas. That's a straightforward question. Let me just take another one before Dr. Chidiloi will answer this. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point blank.
Good morning, Pastor Shogun.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My name is Christian Otiasa.
Otiasa Christian, good morning.
Let me congratulate my brother, Honorable Dr. Chidiloi. Local government administration is very, very challenging because the people are close to you. Now, he has done well, so I want to congratulate him for the much he has done. It's quite beautiful. I must congratulate him. However, there are two quick issues I want him to attend to that I must bring to his knowledge. One is that of the MOHA Calabari Road. And I say this from the point of humanity, from the point of the fact that it's also a Calabari block. And geographically, that road is within Izelje. But I think because of the usage, those who apply the road, there must be concerted efforts. No excuse is plausible for between himself, the chairman of Asalga, Begema, and Akugutoro to address the security, the dire security situations on that road. Today, it is frightening to pass. the kidnappings have been increasing in rate.
So you want to know...
That is number one.
Yes.
That is number one. Number two, he should try to permanently resolve his issues with the workers of EMOA. He should not just assume that he has handled it and they feel suppressed. He should be able to handle it so that post-EMOA LDA-ship, his bright political future will continue to soar.
Thank you so much, Christian. Actually, that's one of the issues, but maybe we should start with that before we go to...
Yeah, I honestly would start with that. Let me tell you a thing. I didn't set out to satisfy everybody. I set out to satisfy a majority of the people. There is no way certain persons will feel offended by my policies. Shegun, I went into a local government area where people were just recruited, cronies, relations, family relations, children were being written down as staff of council by those who sat at the helm of affairs. And I said, no, I couldn't have had a staff strength of 1,668 persons in EMOA, more than the staff strength of Katsina State government. And I decided to do a housekeeping. Where are your files? Why do we have this over-bloated voucher and so on? Shegun, I got an independent auditor to look at our books. The findings are pitiable. A situation where you have on a voucher for payment, you just have Shegun Owelabi, Chidi Lloyd, Brian Josie, and so on. No department, no sex, no grade level, nothing. As if they were compiling names of market, what was this policy? Market money. And I said, no, I can't do this. So give me, where is Shegun Owelabi's department? What is his grade level? What is his date of first employment? When is he leaving? And I undertook a biometric exercise where all those who claim to be staff came. And they said, look, you were employed in Kana. You worked in Kana and was transferred to EMOA. I said, okay. Show evidence of the fact that you were being paid salary in Kana before you got to EMOA. It is called root of title. And they don't have. So when such a person is removed, he says, oh, I have no issues with my workers. As I speak to you, I pay 1,030 staff of EMOA local government. And they receive their salary as and when due. The only delay will be if in case the money doesn't come early. I have no business keeping anybody's money. At least I have shown that much that I have no... Before I became chairman, when the rumor came out that I was going to be chairman, people accused me of, oh, it's bigger than the office and all that. So when I went in, I only expanded the office to my size. That's what I have done. I can't sit there just because, oh, I don't want people to talk about me. Shegun, the monies we freed is why you are seeing that state-of-the-art council secretariat. Well, and all that you have read that. But again, we are building 4 roads.
But again, a lot of people still feel that, and that is the allegations, that many of those you are singling out are those who do not believe in your political...
Oh, no, Shegun, I'm a Catholic. I'm a Catholic, for crying out loud. I'm a knight of St. John's International.
We're talking politics.
No, I know. Beyond that, I'm a highly educated person. I should live above mundane things. What would they do? Everybody, now you see what is going on. Look at the election in Osun, the one in Anambra. It is no longer about the people. Power is gradually getting back to the people. So the only way to woo voters is to make sure you deliver on the dividends of good governance. I will be the last to use my office to oppress anybody. I say it on good authority. I have fear of God. So when I don't pay them, does the money come to me?
You know, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, when you talk like this, a lot of people say, well, he's a politician.
No. So beyond this, that is the problem. That is the problem.
They are very Mercurian.
At least you know me. At least you can do a paragraph or 2 about my person. Look, you don't play politics with everything. Beyond politics, I have just 3 years to stay in the saddle. I have done 1. Thereafter, I will still come back to those same people. Those who are crying today will be better off tomorrow. For example, there is no department I had the most fight with in EMOA when we assumed office than the health sector. but they were the first beneficiary of my so-called high-handedness. We freed those funds and built them a state-of-the-art office. We are still constructing more.
Well, we'll come to the issue of the health, but again, another interesting thing that the callers have talked about is the MOR Calabar Road. And one caller actually said, is it possible we have a collaboration?
No, we did. In fact,
fellows?
I mooted the idea with my colleagues. And I'm sure that last year you would have heard that we met first in MOR, while we moved to the other local governments as well. But along the line, there was a lull, as if I foresaw what was going to happen. But we have come back again on the drawing board. Recently, there have been no such incidents of kidnapping and so on and so on, which was what made me quickly conclude the Secretariat of the MOVs and got them inaugurated. But for the ugly incident that happened a few days ago, which we have taken steps to suspend those. You still have policemen who fall foul of the law. So that we have vigilante. MOR vigilante does not make all of them their pious. As the most important thing is that we have structures that punish offenders. Anybody who acts or traverses the powers, or traverses the law, setting up the vigilante will be punished. Fantastic. And that is what we are doing. Fantastic. So the police is going to investigate, and culpability will be put on the doorstep of whoever is culpable.
Well, fantastic. We're speaking to Dr. Chidi Lloyd. He's the chairman of MOR local government area, and so much in the first 1 year in office. But again, so many more to be done in the coming years. And we'll be taking reactions. Don't forget, we would love for you to send your reaction on our social media pages. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitter, as well as on Instagram. You can watch this discussion live anywhere in the world. If you download our application, download Super FM application, and you watch us, listen to us anywhere in the world. Now, for text and messages, and I would also prefer text messages, and you send us a voice note. To send your voice note, send it to 090-5948-1021. Let me go straight to the text messages coming in. Good morning, Pastor Segun. I commend the leadership of Dr. Lloyd in MOR local government area. He has tried in some aspect of his administration. However, the issue of security and welfare of civil servants under his watch remain a source of concern to the people of River State. Please, sir, look into this issue. Of course, you've heard Dr. Chidi Lloyd explain that, and don't forget, this is just his first 1 year in office. Good morning. I am really happy. Well, thank you so much for happy to hear me on radio. Dr. Lloyd and his 1 year in office, it is unprecedented. He has changed the narrative. Segun, the fear we have now is that if he continues in this trajectory, the remaining 2 years, he will have left a huge landmark and a very big shoe that many will be difficult to wear. Good morning, Chinwe. Good morning to you too. Victor. Sorry, let me just get that. Okay. We have here Victor Peba. Good morning, Segun. Insecurity has become a major problem in MOR local government area. Well, you heard Dr. Chidi Lloyd on what's been done in the area of security. Comment Clinton Erekere. Honorable Chidi Lloyd, you did well doing a review of your staff. That's how a government is run. But you should do more in the area of security department. Jonah Dinkwa. Chidi Lloyd speak with so much authority, just like Governor Wike. Oh my God. Anyway, MOR vigilante would not. MOR vigilante would not bear arms. Dr. Chidi Lloyd, as at the Nigeria vigilante launch, was made on the backdrop of the profiting by the DSS and police training of the operative. Well, I don't understand that. But last 7 days into the operation of some operatives gunned down person. Well, you've heard Dr. Chidi Lloyd said that matter is still being investigated. Please, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, is there a website where the public can see the revenue allocation of their local government so that I can see it? My local government Okrika and local government resident Oyibo are not being allocated any revenue. Well, that's your thinking. But again, let's
on the website. That was the first thing we
website,
did.
Yes.
We are in I think my CPS will know that. Support emoga.
Well, your SP, he's right here. He will tell us.
Yeah, so
maybe you just write it on paper.
Our, what do they call it? Our identification, local government identification, is no longer done manually.
Okay.
You can get it from any part of the world. You just go to our website. And you log on and all that. That's what. So our activities are online now.
Because we need to talk about that, putting in place a
of course, you know,
that.
But the first thing I did before we started the commissioning of projects was to give an account of my stewardship, how much I received within the period under review, and how I applied the money on behalf of the people. It's not my money, Shegun.
Fantastic. Let me just take 2 calls, and I'll come back and ask him a question. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello, good morning, Chegu.
Good
Warrant
morning.
Comrade on Fatah is my name.
Good morning.
From Emoha local government area.
Yes.
Chief, good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine. And Chegu, I'd like to first, of course, what the chairman is doing inside the council is commendable. I commend him for that. And I pray that he finishes it it's for the good of Emoha people. Secondly, sir, I want to ask the chairman that, rather pray the chairman to please kindly, with all sense of responsibility, dissolve that MOVs.
So what are your reasons?
Personal. My reason is you inaugurated a security outfit. In less than 72 hours, the same you ordered for the arrest of the commanders, whether it's Commander 1 or 2. This is because the chairman knows very well that members of MOVs are persons being selected by his own supporters, his own members of his political party around the local government. People that are made up of that MOVs are PDP members, and they are out there to not only hunt their political opponents, but to also hunt their fellow cultists. Most of them are cultists. Most of them in that group, they are past cultists that felt that they have repented. And the chairman of my local government knows about this.
Well,
even
fantastic.
If he will deny it in public. That is one. Two.
Okay.
Why is it that when politicians enters these offices, what they see people, I don't want to believe that the issue of I want to bring in people to begin to mold block or do pure water is one that can put food on their table. Sheku, we are equally people, we are from Emoha local government, from the stretch of welcome to Emoha, from the life from El Choba to down where you say welcome to Ahoda, we have lands. Why won't the chairman come with a very strategic plan when it comes to agriculture?
All right,
So
thank you so much.
The world we're living today is about agriculture.
Thank you so much, sir.
There are lots of people that are molding block already in our local government that speak with you and does not put any food on their table.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. I quite appreciate that. And I'm going to again not speaking for the chairman because he's well capable to speak. He has just told you this is his first day in office. But again, that's a very big allegation that members of MOVs are cultists.
I will not gratify that boy with a response.
He has a right to respond.
Yeah, but I won't answer him. I also have a right not to respond.
But again,
because I know where he's coming from, I will not gratify him.
Are they really cultists?
He knows. I'm sure he takes one cultist to know another cultist. I don't know them. I don't know cultists.
Because you just told us how they were
Yes, and as if I knew this
question.
I'm not reacting to what the last caller said.
Okay.
I'm reacting to what you are asking me, so that we'll get that clear.
True.
I came with the list of all those who wrote the nominations from their communities.
And you also said they were selected across party, irrespective of their party.
That's why I want to ask I want to ask you whether somebody like the Niewele Gamini, Billy Aleko, is he a member of the People's Democratic Party? Chief Samson Abaro, is he a member of the People's Democratic Party? You see, I don't want to, look, there should be a minimum standard of behavior by people. You get the point?
Yeah.
So I would not respond to the last caller. I would rather respond to this.
But you see again, well, you've just told us that there is still pruning, there's still fine-tuning in MOVs, and you told us what informed your creation.
You know what? If I were the last caller, but God forbid, you would commend the effort of the chairman. That I set up an organization, and within hours after his inauguration, I'm firing them. It means I have nothing to hide. It means I have nothing to hide. And I have said so because whatever a man does, you will stand before your creator someday.
And again, it is in that light that I will
so
also
if you find a man who now says, it's just like we have people. If you go to the various police cells, you will find policemen who have defaulted the law that the police is punishing. And that is why you have things like court-martial and all that. Where if they didn't expect that personnel of these organizations will fall short of the law, you wouldn't have things like court-martial. So we have a system that punishes our own.
So is it an assurance that anyone found wanting?
Oh, Shegun, you can take that to the bank. You know me. You know me very well. You know me.
Fantastic. Let's just take another one. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point Blank. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Pastor Shegun. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Very good. And how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I salute Dr. Chidi Lloyd, the Emoha Council boss.
Thank you very much. You, sir. May God bless you.
I remain temple. Whenever I hear your voice like this, I remember my governor's voice. Very important. Quickly, I want to appreciate the council chairman as far as Emoha is concerned and the recent development. trying to change the narrative. Most importantly, the negative narrative that the council chairman don't perform, but they are only there to share the council money. I want to appreciate him on that regard. But quickly, on this issue of the Security Act, the Local Security Act, and when we're talking about their kind of profiling, Mr. Chairman, sir,
yes, sir,
as far as community is concerned, these guys, we know them, and we know what they can do. And when we talk about cultists, the truth must be told. We are from the community, and we know their kind of lifestyle in which they have lived before. Or probably, if they tell us they have repented, I don't know which way they have repented. But sometimes when we bring issues on board like this, try to meticulously look into it. And the system in which these guys have been brought on board, and the kind of referral purposes in which whoever that is referring them should be looked concerned.
Fantastic.
And the kind of guns, how are they being authorized to handle guns? It's another issue.
Temple Okere, may I ask you, Temple Okere, well, again, thank you so much.
Okay.
But again, I want to find out if you follow the program from beginning, because
no, I like this kind of temple. This is what governance should be. It should be participatory. Temple sees a lacuna somewhere and is advising the chairman, please take a look at these issues. He's not talking with political bias. That I'm chairman of MOA today, I'm chairman of both members of all the political parties. When they come for local government identification letter, it is not our business to ask them which party you are in or which party your father is in. So we give them, we deal with them. Now, he's raised very, very, very cogent issues. But I have also said that, unfortunately for us, we did not recruit them, as it were. Communities' heads were made to make nominations. And Shegun, one of the provisions of that law is that you will not become vigilante in a community other than yours. Because the essence is to make sure that the people you are going to be securing know you. And I do not want us to lose sight of what our local government was before now. So we are only trying to build on the gains of the previous local government in that regard. But of course with a view to fine-tuning them and making them live to and conform with the laws of the land.
Fantastic. Now, again, we will be taking more questions, but we would also appreciate you to send us text messages and also send us voice notes. Quickly, I want Dr. Chidi Lloyd to take us on the area of healthcare. You've talked about building a health facility, but primary healthcare is very, very key. The MOA Healthcare Center, located, I think it's located along Odoa MOA. What is the state of that? And
no, it is not. You recall that during the outbreak of the Ebola disease, the River State government actually turned that place to become a center for is it infectious diseases or something. So it was taken over by the government. And of course, the River State government...
Has it been returned? Has it not been returned back to the local government?
No. It hasn't been returned. But unfortunately for us, and that's what we are saying, government need to be participatory. That the River State government built that facility, it was built in a community. The community ought to own these projects. So you cannot idle by and allow people to go and loot.
Exactly, that's my concern, because so much is being stolen from there.
Exactly, just because you are waiting to cast aspersions on the government of Governor Ian Wike. So Wike cannot be at everywhere at any time, at every time. So when facilities are provided, the one that was built in Akpabio, my community, is still intact. Not a pin has left that hospital. Because we see it as our own. Whether PDP, whether APC, whether Accord, ADDC, or whatever, they will not take out that hospital from our community. It has come to stay. So we own it. So that is what people should, the culture that we should try and imbibe now. So you don't see it as, oh, just because you want to go into the next radio station to say, oh, government has failed. But it is your community. People are going there, removing up to zinc.
Many things. I mean, the last time I saw it, I was amazed. Again,
so we are on top of the situation. We've written letters to the government of the state government to see how they can allow the local government reactivate
but
that
what
facility.
more are you doing in the area of healthcare?
Well, you know that we will only intervene in places as much as we will not do anything outside the availability of funds.
True.
The spirit is willing, but of course the body is weak. And then more why it's not, we do not have any source of internally generated revenue. So we base strictly on what comes from the federal allocation to us. And we are very lucky in our local government that we have a governor that do not bother about how we spend our money. If it were in other jurisdictions where they just go and pay salaries, it would have been difficult for me to even raise a finger. But I would like to take you on a devil's advocate, Segun. Beyond just sitting here and looking at, hearing from people, I'd like to take you on a guided tour. You know, when one does well, you are happy to take people around. You have just like you have a visitor, you have a child in the university. That is the child you send to go and bring drinks, so that you introduce him to the visitors. Oh, you know, this is my son. Yeah, he's in Ife. He's in the Faculty of Law in Ife. But if there's anyone at the Abale Park, you will not say that my son. You see him. He is the head of the other section of Abale Park. Nobody does that. Everybody. So I'd like to take you on a guided tour of what our humble...
Definitely, we would come down, and we've seen pictures, and these are amazing pictures we've seen so far. But Dr. Chidiloi, there's a particular concern I have, and these concerns stem from the fact that I recall that while you were a member in the Rivers State House of Assembly, you talked about a particular road, that is the Ovogu-Odegu Road. When are we going to see work on that road?
In fact, that is the Rumodogo Road.
Okay.
The government, in fact, that is what I'm telling you. When I joined the People's Democracy, when I came back to the party after my voyage of discovery, I came back to the PDP. That was the first road that we asked for from the governor, and without even knowing the place, he's delivered that road.
So it's been done right now.
Now, that's why I say, come on, devils. It is not. It is
fantastic. That's new for me. You've not talked about this. You've not talked about that particular. But while you were in the assembly, you were always talking about that road.
Absolutely. Now, a pharaoh that knows Joseph now is on the saddle. All right. And the road has been delivered.
I'm going to ask people to look at that road and tell us what the state of the
1 and 2.
Okay, fantastic.
It was difficult. In fact, they used to come to Port Harcourt through Harristown. It was that bad.
All right. Let's go back to the telephone lines and 070-5079-1021 and 081-174-31021. First, we'll just take some voice notes because we have some people who have sent us comments on their WhatsApp, and so we'll take those voice notes. And you want to send us a short voice note, 45 seconds, 0905-9481-021. And let's take this. This is Super.
Good morning, Segun. Good morning, Honorable Dr. Chidiloi. I want to say a very big congratulations to you for your 1 year in office and the good job you're doing in MOA. Segun, I want to say that since the creation of Rivers State, this very set of local government chairmen we have in the state are very wonderful. Take exception from my own local government, Honorable Dr. Thomas Baere in Kana local government, and all the local government chairmen in Rivers State. They are doing marvelously well. So I want to congratulate them for transforming all our local government to be a functioning, insecurity, bringing to an end the illegal bunkering, and also what.
Well, thank you so much for that. And let's just quickly take another one. This is Super FM. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Segun Ogulabi. I agree, Chief Dr. Chidiloi in the studio. My name is Royal Chief Ambassador Magnus Edu. Let me vehemently thank the Honorable Chairman of MOA Local Government for the numerous projects he have initiated and commissioned so far. And I think he should keep doing the good work. But I just want to ask, how many of his councillors have executed one ward project? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and vehemently asked, what have your councillors done? And again, so let's take another one. Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Super FM, Point Blank.
I'd like to vehemently state that it is not the duty of my councillors to deliver on projects. The councillors pass the budget, they make law, they conduct public hearings, they come up with motions. Project delivery is that of the executive. And I state that vehemently.
Okay, let me take
another one. As was vehemently asked by the bishop.
Okay, let me take this one. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Shebu.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Solomon. I'm calling from Emoha local government.
Solomon, good morning.
Good morning, Shebu. Let me thank you for bringing up the issue, or thank Rivers people for bringing up the issue of local government workers. I am a staff of Emoha local government.
Okay.
A level 8 staff of Emoha local government. Shebu, I feel very bad when the local government chairman come on air to misinform the public. He knows. He shouldn't say he does not know me. Shebu, we are in court already. And as I speak with you, I was legally employed. I was employed 2013, and I was converted after 1 year. Shebu, you can make your findings. I want you to go to Local Government Service Commission and make your findings. There are a lot of people too. Well, about 400 that were affected. And 13 of us, we summoned courage to go to court because we have been able to, make investigation. We have gone to Local Government Service Commission to find out where we have erred. But I can tell you that conversion does not have time frame. I have told him before as a local government chairman. Promotion is always done at least 3 years, 4 years. Conversion does not have any time frame. You could be done 1 month, 2 months, as the case may be. So coming to tell Rivers people that these persons were illegally employed, these persons were not are not staff of Emoha, they are ghost workers and all that.
Okay.
It's neither here nor there.
Well, thank you so much.
I am saying that you should go and make your findings.
Well,
this
fantastic.
Man is
we will do that.
He is talking on third hardship on the workers of Emoha local government.
Thank you so much, Solomon. But again, you've just said this is prejudice. This is in court. I hope this is not prejudice, Dr. Chidi Lloyd. But again, would you want to respond to that? It's sub judice.
I wouldn't respond.
Okay, fine. Well, Solomon, again, we're also interested in your side of the story. If you will get across
it is not also
us.
proper to discuss an issue that is before the law.
Well, again, we will just give him the benefit, at least, to address one of these issues. Of course, you heard it. It is subsidized, and it is something in court. But again, you also have a right, and you also have a voice, and we would be willing to hear you on this particular matter. Let me just take this one. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello, good morning, my brother Manshu.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you. My name is Good News Amadi. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Good news, please. We want you to make it very short. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Doctor, greet you, sir.
I greet you. Good news. How are you?
Later. Let me start beyond politics. One of the problems we have in Nigeria and River State today is if you're an APC or your PDP, you see your person doing what is good, you condemn it entirely because the person is not in your party, and then the person in your party does what is bad. You keep quiet. You don't encourage the person. You keep quiet because let it not come from your mouth. I'm not a politician. I have come to Emoha in different fora, different occasions. I'm having to be an in-law too. And I have seen things for myself. I must tell you from my own mind, your leadership style of government for me is very good.
Thank you very much.
And I want to just say, keep it up. Yes, there will be forces left, front, back, center.
I am fit and proper to withstand them. I can tell you that. I don't lack guts. I don't lack guts to do the right things. I don't lack guts. In fact, what I have in abundance is guts.
All right, good news.
I will say, keep it up. My name is Good.
Thank you so much. But again, Dr. Chidila, on the second thing, I was thinking if this matter was not in court, I mean, this gentleman, he said he has spoken to you.
No. It is not, government is not personalized.
Okay.
And thank God he said it is not just him.
Yeah, 400 of them. That's huge. Can we have another way of just giving these people?
Okay, so what happened was when we did our biometrics, we took time. I got the Local Government Service Commission involved. I got the NOLGE involved, which is their union. We also discovered people who went to forge bank statements. I don't know whether they include those whom the caller
400.
The caller before the last one referred to. You see, I don't want to go into it so that I don't jeopardize the proceedings in court. Mm-hmm. But I would like, that's why when they went to court, I thanked them because they are going to enrich our jurisprudence. Somehow, a judgment will be delivered one way or the other. So if the judgment is against the council, no local government chairman after me would dare do what I did. If it goes the other way, no worker we then take the local government for granted. I have not seen a staff promote him or herself. I have not. I want to be corrected. Now, when we finished our verification in November of 2021, I have a new internal auditor who is from Emowa, a very cerebral civil servant, who said to me, as an internal auditor, sir, part of my function also includes to go through the voucher and see how you are paying and who you are paying. I said, go ahead. Go ahead. So he now is doing a review of what we did. And in fact, he has even unearthed more. He has unearthed more things than we unearthed when we did ours. So I like to be proved wrong. It's not a personal thing. So it is not a matter of whether you don't cheat. No, I am the chairman of the council. It's not my estate. So if we finish from this court, of course we will get to Supreme Court. If they defeat me at the lower court, I will appeal. If they defeat me at the Court of Appeal, I will go to the Supreme Court. Then it will not, when the Supreme Court takes a position, it now becomes law. So we will know what not to do and what to do. That's my stand.
But the assurance for the people of MOI is that, look, these people are not being vilified. That's the assurance people
I do not have any need to vilify a man who earns 24,000. I don't need to. But what I will do is that people who are not members of staff will not earn salary. I would rather resign now than pay anybody who is a ghost worker. I've said to her, the best thing that has happened to me now is not that I'm local government chairman. I see it as an opportunity to serve my people. And looking back with my team, I can do some form of buga for myself.
Dr. Chidi Lloyd, talking about doing buga, you are PhD in law. You were in University of Calabar as a senior lecturer.
No, University of Enugu State.
Enugu State University, senior lecturer.
It is called UNEC.
Okay, UNEC.
Yes.
As a senior lecturer. Your mates are 5 months roasting at Tomo. You are bugaing yesterday.
I like that. No, it's like, it will be resolved. It will be resolved. I think they are still talking.
So you're happy as a local government chairman rather than imparting knowledge on people in university?
Well, you see, we are pencils. We are nothing but pencils in the hands of the gods. God has already designed it that at this time I should change the narrative. I should come to Emowa and chase ghost workers. And rather use the money to build road for Eveko, for Ukele in Ndele, for Ubimini and Ababu community. That's what God says I should do at this time. When I'm done with it, I'll go back to the classroom.
I hope when you're done, we'll be seeing a book come out, your experience, classroom, and local government.
It will be in volumes. How people steal funds from local government, including persons who promote themselves illegally. Everybody in Emowa, when I arrived at the council, was a senior staff. And that is where a preponderance of the funds were going.
Dr. Chidi Lloyd, PhD, is the chairman MR local government area, and he has been speaking to us in the last 1 hour. We'll be looking at local government administration, particularly improving governance in MR local government area. And we must sincerely thank Dr. Chidi Lloyd for coming to the studio. Dr. Chidi Lloyd, thank you so much, and we quite appreciate you coming to the studio. And just quickly before we go, that particular website you asked for, maybe I should give it to you.
www.emolga.gov or something.
Yes, .gov.ng, I think so. Quickly now, if we just have that, we just have about...
The website is emolga.riverstate.gov.ng.
Fantastic.
emolga.riverstate.gov.ng.
Well, thank you so much.
So when you go on, you will see all of us. You will see all the activities of the council. And Shegun to also use this opportunity to thank you and urge people of Emowa to come out in their numbers at our GDI PVC sensitization rally, which we hold.
That's an announcement to Dr. Chidi.
No. Well, I'm only appealing that Rivers people should go and get registered.
Okay.
And have their PVCs so that we can vote out government of ineptitude.
Dr. Chidi Lloyd
vote in. Continue to vote the People's Democratic Party.
Well, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, thank you so much for coming on.
It's always a pleasure talking with you.
And it's Point Blank this Saturday. Join us for another edition next week. Good morning.